You'd be lying if you said you didn't see it coming. But not like this. A young, fiery team from a small market. A squad many considered one for the future, suddenly rewriting the history books right now. This isn't your typical feel-good underdog story. This is a massacre, an annihilation, a once-in-a-generation demolition job of the entire NBA. And it wasn't supposed to happen this fast. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder, your NBA champions, and maybe, just maybe, the next great dynasty. The numbers don't lie. 68 wins, blowing teams out by 20 before the fourth quarter even started. Margins so absurd that by the All-Star break, most analysts weren't even asking if they'd win. They were asking by how much. This wasn't a team grinding through adversity or surviving by the skin of their teeth. This was systematic domination. From opening night to their finals buzzer, the Thunder didn't just defeat opponents. They erased them, possession by possession, game after game. Think about this. On 29 separate occasions, OKC led by 20 points or more before the fourth quarter. Nearly one in every 3 games was effectively over by the third quarter. And by the end, they weren't just chasing a title. They were chasing history.
Since the NBA's birth, 79 teams have hoisted the championship trophy, but there's a far more elite club, an inner circle reserved for only the most dominant teams in history. To get in, you need a net rating of at least +10, a margin of victory over 10 points, at least 65 regular season wins. Before this season, only 8 teams had ever achieved that in a single season. The 71 Bucks, the Showtime Lakers, Jordan's Bulls, the Unstoppable Warriors. Legendary teams that aren't just champions, they're cultural icons. And now there's a 9th member, the 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder. But here's the kicker. The Thunder didn't just join the club, they kicked down the door. 6th best record of all time. 2nd highest net rating ever recorded. The single largest margin of victory in NBA history. No flukes, no injury luck, just pure, unrelenting dominance. Here's where things get terrifying. Every championship team is loaded with talent, but most also have something else: experience, battle scars, seasons of heartbreak before the breakthrough. Not this Thunder team. The average age of an NBA champion over the last 3 decades, 28.8 years old. The 2025 Thunder, 24.8, by far the youngest championship team in nearly 50 years. And when you actually dig deeper, it gets crazier. They didn't just have a few young stars carrying some veterans to the finish line. This was a full rotation of young, hungry killers, closing out playoff games with barely any gray hair on the bench. The NBA isn't supposed to work like this. Championships usually take time, pain, failure. But the Thunder said, nah, we're good. Which raises the ultimate question. Was this a one-off miracle or the start of an era? Since 2019, the league has seen 7 different champions in 7 seasons, the longest stretch of parity in NBA history. Every year, a different team lifts the trophy. Every year, a new hero emerges. Dynasties were supposedly dead, yet here we are, looking at a team younger, deeper, and more dominant than any champion in modern history. Will they be the next Warriors? Or will they vanish like the Raptors, Bucks, or Nuggets? Champions who had their moment before quickly returning to the middle of the pack. Well, OKC's blueprint suggests they might be something completely different. Super teams have died. Teams built purely on star power collapse under the weight of injuries, egos, and financial disaster. But OKC, they took the hard road, and it's paying off faster than anyone imagined. While everyone else was trading draft picks like candy, the Thunder built patiently. They developed their stars. They trusted their process. Roster continuity across the league has plummeted. Teams reshuffle every offseason in desperation. But OKC, they stayed together. In fact, while the average championship roster changes about 40% year to year, The Thunder's continuity was nearly 80%. This wasn't a team slapped together overnight. This was a family growing together, destroying together, winning together. And here's where things go from impressive to flat out scary. While championship rosters often balloon into financial disasters with luxury tax payments and bloated contracts, the Thunder just pulled off the impossible. They won it all, with the 25th highest payroll in the NBA. 24 teams spent more money this year, and none of them could touch OKC. Think about that. Not only did they dominate the league, but they did it while saving millions. This isn't just winning, it's efficient winning. This team isn't going to be forced to make brutal trades. They have the flexibility to keep their core together. For years, the Thunder didn't just win a title. They've built a financial fortress around their success. Most teams would give up everything for a title. The Lakers, Heat, and Suns mortgaged their futures chasing championships. Even recent champions like the Nuggets are bottom 5 in draft picks after their title run. And yet, here comes OKC, holding the biggest draft pick war chest in the NBA, even after winning it all. 24 first-round picks in the next 5 years. Let that sink in. They're not only the best team in the league, they're also the best positioned for the future. If they need reinforcements, they've got picks. If they want to trade for another star, they've got picks. If they want to simply draft and reload forever, they've got picks. Nobody else in NBA history has balanced dominant present success with this much future capital. Nobody. This isn't a team peaking. It's a team just getting started. So what happens next? History shows us dynasties aren't built on a single title. They're forged through sustained dominance. But OKC is already on a different timeline than any team before. They won before they were supposed to. They conquered before the league could adjust. Of course, challenges are coming. Egos will grow. Contract extensions will loom. Other teams will target them every night. Injuries and pressure will mount. But OKC isn't like other champions. They are younger than anyone else, cheaper than anyone else, deeper than anyone else, more unified than anyone else, more future-proof than anyone else. It's almost unfair. Consider this. Most teams climb the mountain gradually. They struggle in the first round, make a conference finals. OKC? They skipped the line. No heartbreak, no patience, just instant destruction. And unlike prior champions, they haven't sacrificed anything to get there. No massive veteran contracts, no aging roster, no empty draft cupboard. They won, and somehow they're still armed to the teeth. In the NBA, the word dynasty is sacred, reserved for the Celtics, Bulls, Lakers, Spurs, Warriors. It's about more than titles. It's about shaping an era, dominating the culture, becoming the team everyone loves to hate, or secretly loves to love. Right now, OKC is standing at that crossroads. They've earned the right to dream bigger. They're poised to define the next decade, just like Golden State did in the 2010s, just like the Bulls did in the 90s. If they stay healthy, if they stay humble, if they stay hungry, the NBA could be entering the Thunder era. One season, one championship, and already, the world is forced to reckon with them. A team that was supposed to be next became now. A team that wasn't supposed to be ready showed they were built for this. And a franchise that's been through heartbreak now sits on the throne. In an age of chaos, of parity, of constant turnover, one team looks like they could become the constant. The Oklahoma City Thunder aren't just NBA champions. They may very well be the blueprint for the future. We didn't see it coming, but now, nobody can ignore it.